if he says, sure, reading there, sure. If he says that one more time, I will lose it. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today is my catching up special where I will be making 5 videos about the 5 couples. I took an unplanned hiatus. Y'all can scroll down to my update video to find out why, but in order to try to catch up a little bit, I'm doing videos on each couple individually, and I'm going to be covering what happened in episode 7 through 11. All the links to the other videos will be in the description box, so make sure you check those out. Don't forget to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. Like, comment, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into this video. Ryan is very emotionless. Why is he so monotone? Why does he have no expression whatsoever? Just deadpan. So calculated with every move that it just sucks any sort of fun out of anything that they do together. Like, when it's just them two, he can really drain the room, like, for real. And I didn't see it as much in the beginning, but by the end of this, I'm just like, Ryan, loosen up. You about to lose your wife simply because he's so uptight. And if he says, sure, reading there, sure. If he says that one more time, I will lose it. The first thing I wrote is, I'm sorry they are complete opposites, and it just becomes glaringly clear as time goes on. I feel that exact same way by episode 11. You know, they talk about their differences. Ryan goes to bed at 10:30 sharp like an old man every night and wants to sleep in pitch darkness. She goes to bed at 1 a.m. with the TV on. I mean, and that's very superficial and small, but I mean, they have a bunch of little small differences like that I think will add up over time. When she visited his house, he was not as organized as he claimed. I mean, he just threw food on a broken shelf in his cabinet, and he threw balled up clothes in his drawer. I mean, they were clean, but they were balled up. And he really was trying to make it seem like he was so clean and organized. I feel like Clara, as messy as she said she was, it seems like she is going to be the housekeeper. That's what it's giving so far. So when Pastor Cal came over, they are still under the delusion that they don't disagree on anything. They have not consummated their marriage, but they have been intimate. They've done other things. And it's a conscious decision for Ryan. He said he wants more than sex, and she's taking things much slower than she's used to. And this is going to be the common theme with their marriage, like the entirety of these next episodes. So the next episode, she told the girls that they are moving very slow in the physical department. They barely kissed on the first couple of days. I mean, I guess let me stop, because I wouldn't be judging a woman if she decided to do that. Her problem is she doesn't want to fall too fast and then feel like she's pressuring him to move at her pace. She's tired of him claiming this old man role, and she wants him to be able to mix it up. And girl, it just might not be in him. He's just very reserved. That's just how he is. And then she made the declaration that she's never seen him with his shirt off, and like, she completely put him on blast. Like, they were having like friends over, and she said this in front of everybody, and it was a little bit cringy. Child, it's just weird, because she said that they have done other things, so he had his shirt on. Like, it was weird. It was weird. That's when it started taking a weird turn for me with Ryan. Like, okay, this is starting to come off a little bit controlling. He decided to set up a donut date in order to, like, show her that he's hearing her. She loves donuts, so, you know, he was trying to go out of his way to show that he was listening. This date really showed how serious he is versus how fun-loving she is. Their personality difference shines at all times. I don't understand how they don't see it. He loves vegetables and asked what her favorite vegetable was, and she doesn't even have a favorite vegetable because she don't eat them. And I'm just like, first of all, Clara, grow up. What? You don't eat vegetables at your big age, girl? It's time to grow up. Ain't she in her late 20s? it's time to, yes, we need to eat our fruits and veggies. We do. Yes, ma'am. What do you eat then? Like, he asked her what her motivation in life was, and she doesn't really have one. I mean, he really was trying to have a deeper conversation with her, and she just don't have the range. They just are not a good match. She was bored and clowned him for giving a motivational speech, and that was really rude, because I think he actually was trying to dig deeper with you, and it could have caused like y'all to have a deeper emotional connection, but you played him to the left because that is not what you're used to in a relationship. She's very superficial as far as, you know, demonstrating love, when I think Ryan is a little bit more introspective. You could see it. So usually on these shows, it's usually the woman that's holding back the intimacy, whether that's kissing, whether that's, you know, intercourse. It's usually the woman. And I've seen plenty of couples not consummate their marriage the entire 8 weeks and still make it. I think it really depends on why you're holding back. For example, Iris and Keith, they didn't consummate their marriage, but Iris was also a virgin. And honestly, I don't know if consummating their marriage would have changed anything. So I'm not mad at her for holding on to her virginity. But it just made a little bit more sense. And like I said, many couples have went the entire experiment without consummating and still ended up together. For example, Miles and Karen. And so I do think it's possible to not consummate your marriage during the experiment, but I think y'all also have to be on the same page about it. I also feel like another difference is that he's open to doing other things and he's participating in other things, but he doesn't want to go all the way. And that's what makes it, if he's not a virgin, which, you know, it's kind of coming off like he is. He says he's not, but if he's not a virgin, it's coming off as controlling. It just really is. It is. So Dr. Viviana meets up with them, and basically she asks them about their needs. He feels it's important to build trust before you have that sort of intimacy, and you know, he basically wants to build a foundation first, and she's the exact opposite. She wants the intimacy in order to build the foundation. And he feels like, you know, sometimes intimacy can be used as a band-aid for other issues. Dr. Viviana asked for a solid timeline on when he thinks that they will get there, and he said he doesn't have a checklist. Well, how would you know? And I'm glad she pressed him, because I think Clara does deserve some sort of answer when it comes to that. And basically she told him that your wife's needs are not being met and she deserves something real to hold out for. She doesn't understand why, if you're doing everything else but that, what's holding things up. She doesn't hold sex to a high regard the way he does. And she said it's always been like that with her partners. She's never had an emotional bond connected to it. They've never had an emotional bond connected to it on their end either. And she got really emotional about that. And she claims it's not because she's never had an emotional bond connected to intercourse, but I really think that's the truth. I think it hit her in that moment, like, wow, these men really never, you know, I've never experienced that with anyone. And I could be wrong, but it just seems like, why would you get emotional right there when you started talking about that? And she claims it's because she thinks she could never give it to him. I think she can. I feel like if both of them were vulnerable enough, I feel like it's possible. After hearing her views on like intimacy, I think maybe Ryan could be trying to protect himself. Ryan also has Christian values, and Clara does not subscribe to Christian beliefs. So maybe that could possibly be playing a role in their disconnect. And it's crazy. Clara was sitting up here crying her eyes out, and he, Blake emotionless face the whole time was barely comforting her. And it's like, ain't no way I could be with nobody like that. It was just weird. It was weird how he didn't have any sort of like anything on his face. So they went out to eat with Virginia and Eric, and she seemed a little jealous of them that they had already said I love you, and she was kind of giving her husband a side eye like, we ain't even there yet. Like, and then they put him on the hot seat. He said he's been in a 2-year relationship and he still never said I love you. And that's just weird. It's just weird. I'm sorry. Why were you with this person for 2 years and y'all never got to that point? It's because of you. You didn't allow it. You're so controlling. And when I say controlling, I don't mean controlling as far as he wants to control her every move, but the moves that he makes are controlling the entire relationship. In turn, he's not compromising anything, and it's only satisfying himself. It's not, you know, satisfying any of her needs, and it really is unfair. At that table, in front of everybody, she set an ultimatum that she will need to hear this by the 6-month mark, and if not, then she gonna be gone. And I don't even blame her. I don't blame her, because Ryan is not really giving much. He was unmoved as usual. Yeah, sure. We're working towards it. Sure. Oh, he was getting on my nerves. He was getting on my nerves. It's like, Ryan, you do have to put in work towards it. You do. I feel like he expects it to just happen. I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna work, they're gonna need some extensive counseling. But honestly, I don't think they're gonna work in the long run. So then they have a helicopter ride anniversary date. And you know, it was just really he is so stiff. He is so uptight. He doesn't really even make conversation. Like, when they're just sitting there, they were waiting to get on the helicopter, he wasn't making any sort of conversation whatsoever. He was just sitting there, like, super boring, no personality at all. I don't know what is it. I don't know if it's like a persona that he puts on in front of other people, but when it's just them two, he's just so, like, he don't talk at all, and it's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know. It's something off about him. I can't put my finger on it. If it wasn't for Clara, they probably wouldn't talk at all. Like, I don't know. He just came off differently in the beginning. But anyway, he did do something really sweet for her with the helicopter ride, and then he decorated the backyard the way that, you know, she wanted it to be decorated. They watched their wedding video over again, and Clara got really emotional during the vows. And you know, she really loved his vows then, and she still loves them now. And she wanted this to be the moment where he said I love you, or maybe they consummated their marriage or whatever. She wanted the relationship to be moved forward at this point, because she felt like in her mind it was romantic, but I think that was just on your end, girl. I think he was just doing this. I feel like Ryan is doing these things because he knows he's supposed to, but is he actually like feeling anything? I don't know. Also, he doesn't pick up on any of her cues at all. Like, when she like laid her head on his shoulder, it was just like he was just sitting there stiff, blank faced once again. I mean, she was crying, he was blank faced. It was like, I don't know, like, are you feeling anything, Ryan? And you know what, by the end of it, it was like, well, are you a virgin? Like but he said he's been in a relationship before. It's like he's brand new to this, though. He just comes off like he doesn't have, like he doesn't know how to interact with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just very awkward. I don't know, y'all. They're a little bit exhausting too now that I'm done with this. So yeah, you guys, that's it for this video. Y'all let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Also, make sure you click those links down below if you haven't watched the rest of the dedicated couples videos of my catch-up series. I would just really appreciate if y'all would just comment, like, share. I never say share, but please share these videos, because they will help me get back in the algorithm and, you know, help me like generate some of the things that I missed while I was gone. I would really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.